Today I fucked up any not realizing I wasn't constipated and PO at ping out part of my rectum. So this legit happened today, and I need to get it off my chest because I'm confused by the whole thing and a bit worried about my butthole. I've been living in my car for the last 2 months as I take an extended road trip. For the most part I've been eating fairly well, using my camp stove to cook the same keto meals I've been eating for a while. I've been slacking a bit on the veggies though, so my fiber intake hasn't been up to par. About a month ago I suddenly stopped pooping. Barely went for about 2 weeks, and decided it was time to bring out the big guns. Over the last 2 weeks, I started taking an increasing variety of laxatives, slowly upping the dosage due to the very small amount of progress I was making. Yes, there were definitely some liquid shits, but seeing as how I had 2 weeks of steak in me, it didn't seem like enough. I was still hungry for my usual portions though, so I kept eating like normal, upping the fiber a bit. Starting about 3 days ago, I would get nauseous if I ate more than a fraction of what I usually did, plus I didn't have much of an appetite. I got a motel room for a few days so I could deal with the issue. $360 for 3 nights was the cheapest price I could find, which is more than I made this week. So I kept taking more laxatives, and told myself that if I couldn't resolve this soon, I'd seek medical help. Would have gone sooner if I had adequate insurance. I was shitting nothing but mucus, but I was convinced that there was a blockage higher up in my large intestine. My guts truly felt full, and I was also having a lot of cramps. The quickest relief was to shit out what liquid I could. As time went on, it felt like I was making some progress. It seemed that I was prairie dogging a solid stool, so I kept pushing whenever I cramped up. Eventually I got desperate and attempted to break up the stool with my finger, and that's when I realized it wasn't a stool, it was my fucking rectum bulging out of my asshole. Thankfully it went back in by itself, but if I push too hard now it pops back out again. To the hospital I went. The tech did an x-ray and showed it to me, and I freaked out because it looked like I was backed up all the way to my stomach. I asked the tech, "Is that POOP?" And he said, "Yeah." I feared that this might mean surgery to remove a bowel obstruction which has a death rate way too high for my comfort. I sit in the waiting room, my anxiety spiraling out of control as I delete my browsing history. A while later, a physician named Dr. Brown, looked over my x-ray and told me that my guts were completely empty. I had way overdone it with the laxatives. The full feeling? Nothing but tenesmus, the sensation that the colon is full when it's actually completely empty. My mind was and still is blown, because I did not recall shitting out nearly enough to account for what I'd eaten over the month I thought I was constipated. His prescription was to go stuff my face to get my digestive system functioning again and get regular stool consistency so my prolapsed rectum can heal. The condition is usually progressive and requires surgery, so I'm going to need to be really careful. Apparently, I lost my appetite because the laxatives had set my body off balance. I went from fearing that I would explode to feeling very confused. Please tell me I'm not the only one this has happened to. What a relief. Glad I have good news to share on my end. This whole situation has been a pain in the ass. I'm ready to put this crap behind me. Please, pray for my butthole. Too long did not read. Was a bit constipated so I started taking laxatives, and it seemed like enough wasn't coming out. So I kept taking laxatives, thinking the mass I was prairie dogging was a solid log. Stuck my finger up there to break it up and realized it was my fucking rectum bulging out of my butthole. Went to the hospital. Dr. Brown, told me I had way overdone it on laxatives and was completely empty. I'm convinced my shit got sent to another dimension. I will need to be really careful to ensure that my rectum doesn't fall out of my butt. Rectum. Damn near killed him. Shouldn't have read this while pooping. It crawled right back up there. This was a nice bedtime story. Wish I didn't know it's humanly possible to shit your own ass out. Dr. Brown, I mean, if your surname is Brown and that is not the line of work you're going for, then what are you doing with your life really? I hope your hole gets better, op. Eat lots of fiber-rich foods. If you're keto, then spinach is a good one for carbs, as are lots of seeds like pumpkin and sunflower. Easy to snack on as well and enjoy through the day. Psyllium husk, powder, and chia seed. Get plenty of fluids and make sure you get a good amount of walking around in every day. Helps move the innards. But fear not, for I shall pray for thy bunghole. A prolapse in judgment. You're not the only one. This happens to me frequently and I'll end up need surgery. Though they were C-sections, I had a 9 pounds 13 ounces baby, then a year later an 11 pounds 6 ounces baby. Both sat low during pregnancy and wrecked my intestines and digestive system. Please be careful op. I wasn't and I'm paying the price. Make sure you keep an eye on that. I'm 32, was just diagnosed with rectal cancer this past August. One of my main symptoms was feeling the urge to poop and not being able to. This was due to the tumor triggering nerves in the brain saying there was something there and needed it out.